I hit the wrong button. Well, so much for our intro, but we're going to do that again. Do you like love? Are you a night owl? Then Late Night Love is a place for you. Since life is negative enough, here we discuss everything love. What we love, who we love, and why we love. So join us on Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Time, and please remember, love everybody. And welcome to our 4th of July Late Night Love. I was going to call it a special, but it's actually Saturday night, so it's not really a special there, is it? It's just our normal show. It just happened to fall on a day where we talk about the love of our country. We'll see if I can thread the fine line of being not political as we talk about this for a few minutes, because these are divisive times. Getting through divisive times requires love. Not just love of our country, love of our neighbors, love of those we disagree with, love of humanity, love of the future. And in fact, love of the past and all its flaws. Because the reality is, in 300 years, people will likely look back at us as insanely flawed human beings. Because that's the way history works. We should be learning from our history about what not to repeat. The problem is, in our rush to remove trauma, we sometimes forget what to forget. And don't get me wrong, every community has every right to decide what they do with their lives. That is not my point here. My point isn't about removing things or leaving them there. My point is to be more mindful in the approach we take. When we do things out of emotional haste, we sometimes do not consider all the repercussions. We think, what could possibly be the long-term repercussions? And there's none. And I apologize if I laugh. It's like a battlefield out here this evening. It's a full-throated celebration of freedom. It was funny listening to the nightly news broadcaster kind of admonishing the people for shooting off illegal fireworks and going, well, making them illegal didn't seem to do much good, now does it? Because some people want to express their freedom, some people want to express their love, express their patriotism, for lack of a better word. They're going to do it. And your puny little laws don't apply. And so many people decide to flaunt them. It shows you how powerless those laws are. Laws are only respected when the people love those who write them. And if the people who write them don't love those who are asked to follow, you end up with troubled times. And then it's the average person who has to find a way to put aside the emotion, put aside the devastation, put aside the hurt feelings, and start to love again. It will happen. Maybe not today, not tomorrow, but it will happen. The truth of history is that love does conquer all. Or we wouldn't be here. The history of mankind is cold and often brutal, just like nature. It is love that makes that better. It is love that makes us willing to sacrifice. put ourselves second or third to those we love. How many of us out there would willingly sacrifice ourselves for those we love? If you're on a boat in the ocean and you're the one who has to, and one person has to jump off for everybody else to survive, and your family's there, how many of you would do it? Not even tell anybody. Just do it. I'm betting a good many of you. That's love. Yeah, I'd like to point out you probably could figure out a solution at that point, but the theory is that we would all sacrifice ourselves for our loved ones to have a better life. I think that's a universal truth of humanity. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We couldn't have complex civilizations. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But it is, I don't know. I find it heartening in these times that so many people are going to express their love and displeasure of their government at the same time. It's the politician, the political animal in me. And maybe I'm too a political animal, reading too far into it. Maybe it's just humans like to make noise and this is an excuse. But even that is about love, right? The human desire to make noise, to celebrate. And that's human spirit. Something that's difficult to quantify. So to kind of finish out, we'll make it a short monologue tonight, I guess. Loving your country is fine. Doesn't mean you agree with its flaw. But just like your flawed brother, you have to kind of love them anyway. And yes, it's true. There may come a time when you have to disassociate yourself with family members and whatnot, but for the most part, the only way we get better is by loving each other. We don't get better by not. So, all right, Lubbynator, you are on. You say you have questions for me, and I'm scared because you said some of them are racy. So we're going to have to remind myself to make sure I mark the explicit button, even though I think I do it every time out of habit on this. Speaking of every time on habit of this, we said we add one thing to every show, right?
We add one thing to every show?
Every show, we try to do one thing better, right?
We do.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, this week we're going to actually upload to Anchor FM right after the show. We're not going to go take a break right after we're
right done. Oh, geez, thanks. I forgot about that. Okay, we'll do that.
I was trying to remember, what the hell did we add this? No, we had agreed that we were adding something. I was trying to remember.
Yes.
We were adding. We're going to have to add fake commercials or something in here for a while, just to kind of break things up. I think I have a guy who likes doing fake commercials.
Ooh.
We can have podcasts, advertiser commercials, create out just for some fun. Just have fun stuff to add in. Anyway, sorry, we're just kind of rambling over here because we have an hour to fill. What do you guys want from us? We have to fill time, man. We have to fill time. Okay, what you got for me?
Well, this it's 100 questions. I'm gonna delete the more racy ones.
Oh man!
But there are some racy ones, and it's 100 questions.
Uh-huh.
It says it's a sex compatibility quiz. You could find it, but I don't think so. There's a lot of other relationship questions mixed in here. But you can find it on it's an easy search.
So a sexuality relationship quiz.
Sexuality, yes. Yeah.
This is not going to help the reputation of the show. We're the cross between Howard Stern and Dr. Ruth.
That's what we are. And some of the things I want to know, like,
oh God.
First question, what did you think of me when you first laid eyes on me? Whether it was a picture or when you first saw me, do you remember?
I don't remember emotions like that. I don't know.
What did you think? You don't remember? Okay.
Well, just give me some points. In 20 minutes, I'll probably remember. Okay, so we'll go to the. So, but in general, okay, well, let's.
Well, we met online, so I sent you a picture.
Yeah, but there's no way I'm going to read it. But, you know me, that's almost an unfair question to ask. Because the whole reserve my emotions, pack them down, because, you know, my whole nature. I don't trust my first instincts, right? Because of anxiety disorder, and so it's almost technically an unfair question to ask me.
Okay.
Now,
but I thought maybe I could catch you.
Now, a better question. See, I'm gonna actually make you answer these questions too.
Oh shoot! I've been getting away with not answering them. Yeah, I wondered when you were going to notice.
Well, no, we're going to notice when we have time to fill up. I can't talk for 50 freaking minutes on my own. Well, I mean, I could, but the audience is going to start to get bored.
What was your question?
No, it's essentially the same question, but it's technically an unfair question to ask men because we don't think that way.
Well, you sent me a picture of your dad bod just to, you know, overly honest. Just to be, you know, okay, this is what you're gonna get. You know,
I am seriously
overly honest, and I'm like, okay, dad bod, yeah, you got 5 kids. I already knew that. Next, you know,
it's so overly honest. It is so. I don't know if it's endearing or pathetic, but it is what it is.
I enjoy it.
I suppose it makes life easy. Except it doesn't. It took you forever to believe it.
It takes time.
All right, no. So, okay, the dad bod thing. I'll let you slide on that as a half an answer. So, okay.
But when I first saw you in person, you seemed so solid and just so together, and you were just solid. You're just you, and you still are. You're my rock.
But we won't talk about the laundry pile. Okay, next.
Okay, I'm reading these in order. Forget it. I'm not messing around here tonight.
No, there's no reason to mess around.
Do you have any feelings for an ex?
Well, define feelings.
Well,
I have lots of feelings.
Expound on that.
Well, we're okay. So we're a love show. Well, yes, because I can't unlove somebody. I can realize somebody is no longer healthy for me. I can realize that for whatever reason we've grown apart. I can realize for whatever reason, you know, all the various reasons people and things split up. But I don't think I have it in me to unlove somebody. I don't think it's in my nature. But I don't love very easily, so there's that. Well, that's not technically true. I love lightly very easily, but I don't love deeply very easily. And so you can't, but it's also, there's a children's connection, and you can never truly undo that one either.
You can't.
And so, you know, for the good of the children and grandchildren, if absolute worst, for the good of the grandchildren, you maintain a positive mental outlook as possible.
Right.
Yeah. But you know, feelings like, do you pine for other people? That kind of thing. Well, no. If I did that, then I couldn't be in a relationship now because I'd drive myself freaking crazy. This. Why am I looking around and post-it note? Right. Our studio isn't quite designed for this setup, so.
And that's pretty much where I am. You know, there's children involved, grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And there are others I've been in relationships with that I still think of fondly, but they were shits. So they had to go to the island of I will never see you again.
Well, and Men and women have different experiences. I think we can view this differently. I think if you want to talk, there are differences fundamentally between men and women that just can't be get around. I think men don't have a fear factor that women have to live with.
Okay. You mean physical?
Yeah. I mean, there might be an emotional fear factor, I suppose. But as a rule of thumb, men don't have to worry about, even they're crazy, you can defend themselves from them if need be. So there is a difference, I think, in general. I mean, that mindset, right? You're smaller, you're women.
Yes.
Me and my mother discussed this once. We were discussing about this. Women, by the very nature, have to be a little more fearful than men.
Yes.
Simply because of the way that nature works, right? Nature's an ugly place. And so that has to psychologically expound itself upon the way you view past relationships, because past relationships have to be viewed more dangerously, unless there's a long history. The person's in dangerous, we just don't work together anymore, right? And then you don't have to fear, you can just have them. But I do believe that women have a more natural, ingrained fear instinct than men. And who knows what the level is? Some women are at a 2, and some women are at an 8. And some men it can be at a 2, and some men can be at an 8. Right? It's just where the masses kind of where the big chunk is. Women sit higher up than men on average. I think. Just from personal experience, and just from logic, you think it's more dangerous. And men don't seem to care much about their personal danger historically. You just look at them, we do all kinds of stupid shit. How many women are strap on one of those bat wing suits and go flying through the canyons? There's like one woman for every 100 guys that do that. And so there's just a different level of risk avoidance between men and women. And so I think that plays out into views of past relationships. For what it's worth, on a grand scale. Could be completely wrong. Just to let everybody know. So if a psychologist or someone who works in that area wants to call me and chew me out, knock it out, like it says that. I'm happy to listen. You're awfully quiet over there.
Listening. Because I got a zinger.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
All right.
Do you like cookies? I mean, that's something you got to discuss. If you're in a relationship, you're thinking about doing long term, isn't it? Well, if that's all you want, then that's not going to work.
As part of a robust sexual lifestyle, sure.
Right.
But kind of in isolation by itself, no. I mean, let's face it. If you've got 3, 4 kids, sometimes a quickie is all you're going to get. And so it's just the realities of the world. Or if you're both working, 2.5 jobs or whatever, you're lucky to get a quickie and trying to make baby, which is an interesting choice of trying to make a baby while you're both working that much. But as one of those things on the menu in the right time in the right place, as a younger person, sure, but as the older I get, man, I don't move too quick anymore, to be frank. So
I don't have that energy level anymore. You got to be quick.
It takes me longer than that to get ready now. I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta stretch.
Gotta take some Motrin.
Make sure I'm not gonna pull any muscles or anything. Make sure I'm hydrated so I don't get a cramp. That's always awful. Just saying, it's not pretty. And I'm only 50. The sad thing is, there's 80-year-olds in better physical shape than me. But I'm like 6 foot, 200 pounds. I'm not like huge or anything. I just didn't take care of my joints when I was younger.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. No. Wow, you almost got away with that one. So what about you, madam?
I think they...
Madam Lubbynator.
I think they have their place. I think they have their place. You know, it's always it's really fun when you're both in that same space, you know. Rip one off. Whoa. It's fun.
Yeah, again, it's part of your robust, if you're all in that kind of robust sexual, thing, knock yourselves out.
But again, if that's all there is.
Yeah, and if your partner's just kind of, okay, fine. You should probably rethink your strategies.
Okay, fine.
Now you can, hey man, I appreciate taking one for the team and all every now and again, but
a little enthusiasm. We need a certain level of input.
You can just say no.
Well, kind of wanted to.
Well, and
sometimes when you get going, then you start getting into it.
Well, but here's the thing: you can actually appreciate the mindset, right? Like, well, maybe I'm not in the mood, but I want to make them feel good.
Yeah.
And so, it's no real skin off my back, but it does make the thing. That's when you're young. It helps. It does because you're. I don't know if women and men are different, but as a young guy, you don't really care as long as they're genuinely willing. But I've been married essentially since I was 19, so I've had very little time in between.
You're like me, you don't date well.
No, I'm awful at dating.
I'm terrible.
Well, yeah, because I don't never know when somebody's hitting on me. So there's that. I'm amazed I ever had sex. Okay,
Okay, neatly evaded this question before. If I had to move away for years, would you wait for me?
Well, this was an interesting question. I was listening to a psychologist yesterday whose wife almost died, and then he got addicted to a anti-anxiety medication that actually gave him a very rare side effect that he didn't realize was a side effect. And so him and his wife ended up having to be apart for 6 months at a time because it wasn't mentally healthy for his wife to be with him because it was just too stressful.
Uh-huh.
And so I would rethink my answer for that. If I generally had to, yes, I would. It wouldn't actually even be that hard.
Well, that is a very sweet thing to say.
Well, and I don't mean that hard by the decision to do it wouldn't be that hard. I don't mean that it wouldn't be a difficult period of time.
Of course, it would be difficult.
It's just that the decision it would be a no-brainer decision. Is what I guess what I meant by it. So maybe I was a little flippant with my words, but it would be a little flippant with the. I mean, it would be easy to say, of course I'm going to wait for 2 years. If you had to go to some far-off country, to like Russia, to get some treatment, and it was going to take you 18 months, and I can't go to Russia for 18 months,
right?
For 100,000 reasons. I had to prove I wasn't a Russian bot once. I'm not going to freaking go through that again. But right, there's, and so yeah, of course I would.
Oh, that's sweet, babe. I would wait for you. Yeah.
So if I went to Mars, you'd wait for me?
Yes, I would, because I'm not going. Okay, I got a racy one here. Where is the strangest place you ever had sex?
Strangest place that I remember, or that I've apparently had.
Let's go with both. What do you remember?
That's what I remember. Well, no, we'll go with the one I don't remember. It's train tracks.
Train tracks? Okay.
Apparently.
Okay.
Well, no, not like you would think, like parked on the train track. No, apparently in the middle of the thing, a field with train track. Anyway, how we got there, I have no idea. But there's a few weekends I don't remember.
Okay, next.
No. Maybe you can get the string because you're not going to decide what's actually strange.
Football field.
Well, it's not really strange. I mean, there was a roof of the building downtown.
Roof of the building downtown.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
That's
That's pretty
janitor,
cool.
you have access to roofs, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's the same. So of course you will. Yeah.
I'm from Ohio. Like fields and shit. That's
I think statute of limitations is up to that.
the barn. Cars.
See, but I don't
Movie
think,
theaters.
I don't
That's where I've never really, I like privacy.
we're in California. I'm not sure what qualifies as strange here. That's part of the other problem. I've come to learn that I'm actually not as strange as I used to think I was.
No.
I go to a Libertarian Party convention. This isn't really politics, but I'm a square. And that's just a strange feeling for me. Just saying. I'm one of the square kids. I've never been one of the square kids.
Well, if you
the
would
kids throwing popcorn at people, maybe.
Well, if you would have done the shrooms, you could have been, along with everybody else too.
I don't eat mushrooms in real regular life. What makes you think I'm gonna eat mushrooms just because they're gonna get me stoned? Even though you want to talk about shrooms, I once had a stomach bug, and so they gave me shroom pills.
You told me about that.
I was on shroom pills for a week. No, I wanted off that ride after about 3 freaking days. Let me tell you. But you had to go the whole 7 days on shrooms. Essentially, like
7 days. No, no.
It's like after about 3-4 days, get me the fuck off this ride, man. No, seriously. Everybody likes shroom. Yeah, shrooms for a night. Yeah, it's cool. It's good, but shrooms for 7 days is too goddamn much. And it's a low dose, but you know me in medicine, I don't need high doses.
No, you don't. They give you you ask for baby doses. Okay, I have a question. Who was your first girlfriend?
Oh shit. I don't remember her name, to be honest. That one time in band camp, quite literally, it was a marching band girl.
It was in band camp? Stop it.
Band camp, it was marching band, so it's close enough for.
It was a marching band.
Well, the first official girlfriend. I mean, I suppose
official.
Maybe in sixth grade, but I don't count that kind of thing.
No.
No, like high school or beyond. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't count. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was your first official thing, but. I didn't never really do girlfriends, so I think probably there was only 2 official girlfriends all the way through high school. But no, maybe only just one. Yeah.
Danny Dice was my first.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Danny Dice was my first. I snuck over to his house. One time, my mom came and she caught me. It was a bad scene, man.
You always got caught. What the hell?
I always get caught. That's why I learned. That's why I'm in the straight and narrow path, because I always get caught. It's inevitable.
You know what I learned? How not to get caught. That's.
I'm not that good. I'm not that devious.
You have to have the honest face. You know how often being flat. So she couldn't keep. I apologize, my love.
What was that?
Well, right as I said, you have to have the honest face, and
I choked on my tea.
Yes. Just saying. No, but you'd be surprised how actually blunt ass honesty gets what you can get you away with all kinds of crap.
I can always tell when you're lying.
Well, you can. I'm a terrible actor, but that's what I learned, especially with cops. If you just actually tell cops blunt ass honesty, at least back in the early 80s, you can get away with all kinds of shit.
No, just tell them the truth.
You know what you're doing? We're just sitting here smoking some joints. All right, we're going to go, guys, go home. And then follow us home. We literally sat there and smoked 7 joints. Now, it was crap weed. We were probably less stoned than we are now. But
speaking of smoking a joint.
But that was the point. No, literally, it was one of those nights where, we're sitting there parked, we're sitting there hotboxing the car because it's crap weed, so we're trying to get as much out of it as we freaking possibly can. And what happens? Got to knock on the window. So we got to roll down the windows that have been hotboxed for 7 crappy shake type joints. And what you guys doing? Smoking.
What else could you say?
Yeah, as he steps back because the clouds come billowing out of the car. Today, you know what happened? You go to jail. That's what would happen. Even now, with pot being legal, you'd go to jail. You couldn't get away with that. Because that was right before that, 1990s. That's when we really cranked crap down on the drug war. Really, they were in the 90s, so that was all before that. Kind of the golden era where you could still get crap. You could still wreck your dad's car and all they would do is take you home. Or your friend could wreck your dad's car and all they do is take you home.
Those were nice days.
Well, because you didn't hit anything, so it's just your dad's car, his dad's car that he wrecked, so they just took you home and let your dad deal with your house.
And that's scary. I don't like the thought of that. Oh man, that's one thing. Talk about knowing you're going to get caught. I never drove my mom's car. I was raised by a single mom. I never drove my mom's car. I knew if something happened, my life would be in peril. I truly believe that.
I was driving family and friends' family cars since I've been 14. I suppose you could say I've been stealing cars, but it's not like I rode to a neighbor and stole somebody else's car. It was like, we were driving family vehicles. Well, my friend's dad's car. Yeah, we grew up in a strange neighborhood. So, we grew up in a strange neighborhood. Like, one of my friends had a lawyer. His dad was taught law at the law school. Another guy was an executive of some furniture company. We had the Coca-Cola guy who used to own this Coca-Cola factory down the street, lived down the street from the house. Just right next to a school teacher.
Uh-huh. Nice.
And an office worker. And you go across the freeway and you had people who worked at Campbell Soup and plant. And so there was
nice mix.
Yeah.
Yes, I like living in a mixed neighborhood.
And we actually had low-income housing or apartments down the street, but it wasn't that far away. It wasn't a lot. So it was, in a sense, it was nicely intermixed. Right? It was really actually quite nicely intermixed. There wasn't so many low-income people in an area that the area had a low-income feel, but yet there was enough of a low-income area where they didn't feel alone. Right? And so it never, how like a lot of the times when you have 6 blocks of low income area, it just has a tendency to kind of self deteriorate. So what happens? So if you keep it to 2 or 3 blocks of low income, then a kind of a moderate income, then a kind of a more moderate income. We didn't really get rich people. Well, you had 1 or 2 sprinkled in, but there was no rich area. But by having the economic mix, it really allowed for kind of a unique culture, just kind of a unique neighborhood culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it never kind of strayed one way or the other. It never got too rich, never got too poor. It just kind of stabilized. Now, I suppose it's probably different now. It always is, but
what a lovely memory. Okay, I have a question that I can't, but I'm not going to ask because I kind of know. But I just can't believe that you would ask this on a date.
Okay.
But this comes down to where do you see us going? Do you see me in your future? I mean, at some point you have to ask that question.
Wait, how far along is this compatibility quiz being taken? I suppose if it's after 3 years, I would hope you'd have figured that shit out by now. If it's after 3 months, well, okay, maybe depending upon the tone of the relationship. But that's a loaded question. That's the problem with the question. Isn't that the topic isn't valid? It's a completely valid topic. It's the way that question is asked is loaded.
Uh-huh.
Right. The real question it is, what's our future looking like? Because especially if you ask a young person at 23 years old, they don't know what their future looks like in 5 years old. So you're asking, in 5 years. And so you're asking, do you see me in the future in 5 years? I can't see 5 years. I don't, right? And so, yeah, okay, I can post your face in there, but it's not an honest answer. And so it's kind of a loaded question, especially for young people. Now, you get people over the 30s where they start to understand, have more direction in their lives, and then they can start to do it. But it's an unfair question for young people. They're just not prepared for it. So I suppose the better answer to that question is it's this part of the relationship and the maturity level of the people taking it as. It's not really a fair question for young people. You don't have especially in today's world, they just don't have there's no possible way they know what they're going to be like in 4 or 5 years.
It takes me back to when I was, me too. I was dating women and they'd look at me and go, where's this relationship going? And I'd have no fucking idea. And one thing I learned is don't do that. So I don't ask that. If you'll notice, I never asked you that question. I don't believe.
Well, yeah, because it's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. Where do you see us going?
Yeah. Well, you haven't told them where you see they're going. And so
actually, you're the one who brought it up. You're the one who brought it up.
Okay, so this is interesting. I don't have a good memory of the 9 years ago. So
9. It's been 10 in 3 days.
Yeah, I get it wrong no matter what the hell I say. Sometimes, I swear to God, last year I gave it an extra year, and then this year I'm subtracting the year. I've been stuck at 9 for 3 years.
You have been. What was your question?
I forget now.
Oh, but
no.
You were.
How did I approach the question?
You were upset. You were like, okay, so what's going on? Do you date for 3 months before you decide if you want to be in a relationship with somebody? Because I just don't think I can go for 3 months, and that's just wrong. And I'm like, no. But I don't know today, but it doesn't take me that long. I'll know if there's chemistry, and we'll get to know each other. We'll know in a couple weeks, if we're compatible. For the most part, if we want to give it a shot here.
Hey man, relationships are very stressful for me.
Yes, but you were very upset. There was a lot of words really, really fast. So I knew that this was a stressful issue. And that I was kind of gave you kudos for bringing it up, because not a lot of guys will bring it up first.
Well, that's the honest thing again. If that's what I'm thinking about, that's what
yes.
I'm going to talk to you about.
Yes.
That's kind of how I figure relationships are supposed to work. So I figure that's how I'm going to try it. I've talked to therapists and I've listened to lecture people. I listen to psychiatrists and psychologists. I've done all my research. And theoretically, this is how it's supposed to be done.
We'll see what happens. Give it a shot.
Nothing else has worked.
Nothing else has worked.
Well, you know how I approach things. I go learn things, right?
Yes.
You take the Gandhi approach. You learn the rules so you know how to break them properly. And essentially...
I told you, I got Relationships for Dummies book. You went through that sucker.
So, yeah. And you know me, I go base philosophy kind of thing. But, I also spend a lot of time in therapy, talking to my therapist.
Yeah.
And so, self-introspection. I do a lot of that. So really, I actually think in terms of how do relationships work long term, it's people who work on themselves are willing to work on relationships, and that's how relationships work. I don't know how we got to there, but
I don't either. Okay, here's one to jog your memory. What was your first kiss like? Do you remember your first kiss? I do.
Wrong.
Went the wrong way. Well, mine was on a football, not on a football field, again with a football field. I like football, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was in the bleachers under a bubble umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Danny Dice, 13 years old.
The first kiss I remember, it's not actually the first kiss, but it's the first kiss I remember is the band girl, and she tasted funny.
Oh, dear. Yes, people taste different.
But then, of course, I have no idea how to. That's still dumb. So kissing is it's still like the cooties. So this is
the cooties. Okay, we reviewed this one, but we didn't get very far because we wanted to save it. Do you like using props in the bedroom?
No, well, again, I think we couldn't define what a prop was. I think is what
first you have to define a prop. Are you talking a marital aid? Are we talking pillows to help support?
Yeah, I think
are we talking costumes?
Oh, that's a good one.
Costumes.
Yeah, but I'm not a terrible actor, so costumes just don't work. No one wants to see me play Cartman in the bedroom, so that's not even. That's the only character I can technically play is Cartman, and that's why that's completely not useful in the bedroom.
I'm speechless.
I said it's not useful in the bedroom. What do you want from me? It's the only other character other than myself I can play is Cartman, and that's not useful in that department.
What's the guy where you can play Fabio?
I can't play Fabio.
You have better hair.
Fabio.
Yes, you can. We'll put you in one of those white Renaissance shorts.
I have man boobs.
No, it'll be great. It's all billowy.
I have better hair. He has actual body.
This is a wonderful idea.
No.
Just like, well, you won't let me do matching wardrobe, so I have to do something.
How about one of them X thingies?
No, what are you going to do? Leave me out. Furniture. That's furniture.
We're talking about one of those old time 70s things where it looks like a normal bedroom until the guy hits the button and like all kinds of stuff. The mirrors on the ceilings come down. All right.
The bar comes out. The music turns on. So, is that a prop or is that just a mood?
What show was that? Oh, there was a show. Good Lord, we were getting all over the place. What was it? The Three's Company? Where that one guy? Oh no, there was a show where a guy had the bedroom like that.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
One of those late 70s shows. Anyway.
Are you a jealous person?
I'm only jealous of myself. Am I romantically jealous? No. Am I jealous of people who are rich and famous and that kind of thing? No. Am I jealous of people who figured out their shit before I did? Yeah. Not economically, I mean, mentally figured out the way to figure themselves out. I am a little jealous.
Well, in relationships, I think is what we're talking about. I am. I can't help it. I'm not insanely jealous like you can't have a female friend, but romantic or even if you're, I don't know, if you would be chatting, you chat politically.
Yeah, but what about those women who talk to me and flip their hair that I never notice until you tell me later?
Oh, God, that's just funny.
Well, how jealous can you be if now you find that funny?
Because I know you're not going to get it. And if you would get it, I just, this is going to be good. How's he going to react?
I'm not sure how I feel about that. To be honest. She asked me, how does that make you feel? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So next question.
Well, this is if we go someplace. I know you're going to leave with me. It's, But yeah, I've stood and watched you kind of flirt a little bit. And
Must be instinct. I have no idea.
Yeah. You smile a little brighter, your little eyes get a little brighter, and you just a little more animated. You're just so cute.
Damn it.
You're going home with me. What do I care?
I'm too old anyway for it to make a damn difference. So.
How many times have you been in love? Oh man, I can't. Are we talking in love or an infatuation?
3.
I've been infatuated.
I mean, romantic love.
Quite a lot.
Like spousal type of love. But that was easy. Now, I love lots of people, but, I have, 3 children. I have people that I love like children. A little bit different. 2 of them are a little bit different, but,
In love.
Yes, but love.
Love.
You know me. I love is.
Well, you love a lot of people. You love everybody.
Yeah, but daughter unit 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
I only have 1 daughter, but I've got 3 daughter units. So, that's what it is. Well, 2 of them have allowed me to be their father unit type person, and so that's an honor. That really is, in their own way. So that's a genuine honor. And
yes.
You should guard that like the gold it is. It's worth more than a son's worth of gold.
Very poetic. Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
Who are your ex-girlfriends and what made the relationship end as it did? I don't think I want to. I don't need to know that.
Well, good Lord, you'd be going back 1,000 years, woman. Like, I can't remember that far back. So,
What have you learned from life that makes you who you are today?
What have I learned from? Oh, we don't have time to answer that today, so we just hold that one out for another day.
Okay.
That's actually a good question for next week. We'll leave that as an opening topic for next week. So make it up.
Next week.
That's what
Okay. Would you? Oh, this is great. Would you leave me for a celebrity that really liked you?
Yeah, right. The most funny people on the planet. I believe one of them would actually like me. Okay, maybe Will Smith.
What would you do if your best friend told you I was a bad influence?
Well, my best friend is technically a bad influence, so it doesn't really say very much.
Doesn't really say very much.
Any best friend of mine, it's not going to be the world's greatest influence. So that's not really. And quite frankly, none of my friends are very good in the love department. So, in terms of, no, I'm not taking advice. Take advice from your friends in love. And women probably do, which is probably the problem. Of course, I don't actually know, so I'm guessing being insanely sexist, and I'm good thing we're not popular on Twitter yet. Not only would I be in trouble there, I'd be in trouble with my voters. So.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. What would you do if you were the last person on Earth?
She wouldn't even throw me a lifeline there. Yeah, I want y'all to remember that. If who was the last person on Earth?
What would you do if you were the last person on this earth?
Well, I'd assume I'd eventually die. I don't know what.
I would read. I would go into a library, and man.
Well, I wouldn't want to be the last person on Earth. I mean, just getting basic anything would be a pain in the ass. Oh, screw it. You might as well just go find a building and jump off of it.
Ah.
Not that I'd actually have the guts to do that. I'm just saying, for all intents and purposes, what's the point? But technically speaking, I would probably go looking for another person.
Yes.
If I were to actually try to put myself in it, I'd actually start go looking for somebody else. Because that's what humans do. And ultimately, since I'm not the type to turn towards suicide, I'd turn towards doing something that would be something. Be the most next logical thing. First is survival, next is finding someone else. Seeing what's actually left.
You're an explorer.
No, I'm a realist. I'm a realist, and I don't have the guts to knock myself off. So, and I also don't have the guts to be completely alone. So, you at least have to look forward to something.
How old were you your first time?
13, 14, something like that. Yes.
I was 13. Why did you break up with your first girlfriend, band girl?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No.
Must have been very important.
Nothing in high school is important. Except the fact that I managed to avoid it and still graduate. That's the only thing important that happened in high school.
Which do you think is better, premarital sex or premarital abstinence?
Well, better for who? Better for me, or better for average person, or better for a specific person? Because those are actually three different answers. Better for me is that ship sailed long ago. What's the point? Better for the average person. Again, it depends on their personal history. So it goes down to better for any individual, and that depends on your own personal morals, culture, makeup, wants, needs, desires, goals, sexual drive, blah 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 blah. I can't give that answer, but that's one of those things is you should, as a human being, actually think it through. The sad reality is most of us don't. We have sex at 13, 14 years old because our hormones are raging and the person next to us is cute and we're bored. So what happened? To what, half of us? Half of the people? Something like that? In general? You want to guess? Just as a random guess. I haven't looked up any numbers. I don't actually know. But I would guess that number's pretty high. That now maybe not 13, 14, could be more from 13 to 16 or something like that. But they're clearly not thinking. That's hormones and emotion right there. That's all that is. If you're thinking at 13 to 16, you wouldn't do it.
No.
Well, you might anyway. You might have access to the joys of sex, all three versions.
Okay.
Or other people can have access to all three versions of the joy of sex and not have sex until you go into college. There's no blueprint for this kind of thing.
Yes.
That's reality.
Okay. Through a miracle of modern science, I got pregnant. Would you stay with me?
Well, yeah, but who in the hell went to modern science for this decision, and why wasn't I told?
Beautiful.
No, we have a bigger discussion than the baby, to be honest with you. The baby's the least of our problems at that point. I'm just saying. I love kids, so the baby's the least of our problem. But you realize how old we are, right? We don't like getting up for ourselves.
Oh, yeah. You have to get up with them.
Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking about the smell and the cuddles.
No. It comes with the smell and the cuddles and the screams and the smell and the
smell,
gross mess and the grosser messes and the smells and the laundry and the screams and yeah. And that's just the first 3 months. And on that lovely note, we are going to have to end our show tonight.
Wait, I had one last question.
All right, we can run free. We're not actually on a time schedule, so we'll go for it.
Okay, my last question.
Yeah.
Okay. With impunity, if you had the opportunity to
I take the fifth.
Be with a celebrity, which one would you choose?
I take the fifth.
You take the fifth? Oh, okay.
Well, I actually couldn't think of one, to be honest, if I wanted to. So it's not really about taking the fifth, because I haven't playing for a celebrity in decades, at least.
Sam Elliott. Sorry, babe.
I don't have much of a ego.
It's just the mustache. Oh my God.
I look stupid in the mustache. You're just going to have to go.
I said with impunity.
I still look stupid with a mustache. I'm just gonna have to go.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm out of questions.
And somehow I don't think a glued-on mustache is gonna actually to float your boat. To be honest, I don't think. Wait, is that one of those props you were talking about? A fake mustache?
Ooh.
The answer is no. The answer is
Come on.
No. I can do this.
Put your hair in front of your lip.
See?
Well, it's long enough.
Yeah. I was stupid. Trust me.
Well, yeah, but I wonder what it feels like. We'll try it later.
No, we won't.
Yeah.
No.
Come on, we got a commercial to do.
We've got lots of things to do. All right. So we are out of here tonight. Thanks you guys for joining us. I think there we go. Visit us at anchor.fm Late Night Love to catch all of our podcasts. Theoretically, you should be able to go to latenightLove.us, but it's not working right. DNS is being a pain. You can call us on the Love Line, which I forgot to give out.
Oh.
You can leave us a message. But you can also leave us a message on the Anchor FM page. We can play it. We can answer your questions. You can also send us questions. And why don't I have an email for that? Anyway. I thought I had an email for that. I do have an email for it. I just don't know what it is.
You didn't have it last time.
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay, I'll put that on the notes.
You can find us on Twitter at Late Night Love. You can also find
sweet.
us on Facebook. You can look us on at Late Night Love, which is probably where you can see this. But sure, reach out to us. Call in. We'd love to answer your questions and have a chat. And as always, from me and the lovely Lubbynator over there, take care of yourselves and please remember to love everybody. And good night.